So many of my clients have to sell a home in order to purchase a home. But you know, in this market, it's super challenging because if you write an offer with a contingency to settle, it's really hard to get an offer accepted because most houses have multiple offers. So now you have a seller, why are they going to take a risk to wait for your house to sell? They're probably not. But if you put your house in the market, it's probably going to sell super fast and you got to try to quick find something or find housing. So all of these are challenges. And what would you say to that?
Well, Lisa, it is a challenge in today's market, and I do have a solution for you.
We're going to talk about how to buy before you sell, and Dave's going to walk us through all of the points.
Yeah, thanks, Lisa. And again, thanks for asking me to join you here today. Let's see. Many of you out there may have heard of gap financing, bridge financing, swing loans, interim financing. These are all terms of financing products to help a client to buy before they sell their current home.
Right.
But the problem with these loans is that they're often very costly. Mm-hmm. So what I'm not going to talk about are those loans. What I'm going to talk about is a different strategy I call the Heloc Strategy.
Okay, great. So what is the Heloc Strategy? How does it work?
Fantastic. So the Heloc, I think the best way, Lisa, to go about this is, and for you out there, is to use an example. Mm-hmm. So let's say you own a home currently, valued at about $300,000. And let's say that you have existing mortgage financing of with a balance of about $200,000. You have $100,000 of equity in that home, yeah. Right? The issue is, unless you sell that home, that equity is illiquid.
Right, it's trapped in the house.
Exactly. So our job here, what we're talking about, is how do we unlock that equity? Mm-hmm. The Heloc strategy will allow us to get a new loan of 90% of the value of the home, in this case, $270,000. With that $270,000 loan, we'll pay off the existing financing with $200,000, leaving us with $70,000 liquid to use to buy the next home.
Right. So then that frees them from having that contingency to sell, and they have $70,000 towards their next purchase. Correct? Correct.
Yes. So they can use that $70,000 plus maybe any other savings that they have available to buy the next home to cover down payment, closing costs, prepaid items on the new home that they're going to be purchasing.
Right, and from what I understand, the only payment they're going to have during that time is the interest-only payment on that HELOC.
That's correct. Right, exactly. And so we have to qualify the borrower, or in this case the buyer, with that monthly payment on their existing home. We have to use that existing payment now, the interest-only payment, right. In what's called their debt-to-income ratio to qualify them for the new financing.
Right. All right, so this process sounds really easy, honestly. So what are the negatives with this?
There are a couple negatives. The first and foremost is market values do fluctuate, right, with sales of the home. So depending on when you sell, that market value could come down a little bit. Right. More than, not likely in this market, as you're well aware, but it could. Hence the reason why we left that 10% budget buffer. Excuse me.
So we have a little cushion there.
Right, of course. Secondly, of course, the new financing, the Heloc strategy, does come with an interest-only payment. That does need to be considered when qualifying for the new financing of the new home, right? For the new home. Third, of course, you're going to have a payment on that Heloc strategy until you do sell the home. So if it takes a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months to sell the home, you do have to be aware that you'll have that payment in addition to the new financing for the new home that you're purchasing.
Okay, Dave, so we've covered negatives. I'm sure there's a lot of benefits for using this Heloc strategy, so let's go over those.
Absolutely. Well, the number one benefit, of course, you're buying a house before you're selling your current house.
Absolutely, and that is the biggest benefit ever.
Of course.
Yes.
The number one reason, right, of course. But there are some ancillary benefits as well, right? So you get a chance to take your time moving, right?
Yes.
You don't necessarily have to sell your home, pack up, sell your home, buy a new home, and then unpack.
Because so many people are closing on their houses, their old house, their new house on the same day, so they got to load their trucks and be ready to go.
That's right. And then the third one that nobody really thinks about is that you now just bought a new home without selling your current home, and you have an empty home that you can do all of your cosmetic repairs to before you move in all of your stuff.
Get your carpet done, your paint done, and then move in when it's all ready to go.
Right. Buying a home is stressful enough, right? And so let's take some of the stress out.
Absolutely. This just takes the pressure off, and what a great solution. Allows you to buy before you sell. This is Lisa Graham Real Estate Group with Keller Williams Elite.
And I'm Dave Kuhn of Dave Kuhn Team at Union Home Mortgage.